Quarantined Experiment 16. The next time one of Dr. Phimps's experiments surfaced to cause havoc was 9 months after the discovery of Experiment 7 in the storage unit. Experiment 16 shows an evolution of the Doctor's ability to mutate the human form. 16 was the first experiment to keep their awareness and all of their memories as a human. It is also proof that the Doctor is getting more and more dangerous. His targets are still selected at random, and 16 in general is as petty and malicious as he was when he was human. Unlike 7 and 29, 16 can shift back and forth between its human and monstrous forms. This makes it harder for the agency to capture him, because that human form isn't static. He can shift his physical features in the same way 7 can cause rapid mutations. When Experiment 16 is in its creature form, it looks like a living skeleton, with muscle fibers that haven't yet rotted away. The skull differs from a human skull in that it has multiple rows of eye sockets. Inside each socket is a small eye that can rotate in a full circle. Experiment 16 can move these eyes independently of each other, giving it a very wide field of vision. Experiment 16 can shift in form very rapidly. Within the blink of an eye, 16 can go from a short, Caucasian blonde man to a tall Asian redhead. It makes tracking him a nightmare because the change is complete. Fingerprints, dental impressions, even his DNA changes when he shapeshifts. The shapeshifting isn't even Experiment 16's most dangerous ability. Like the Doctor's other experiments, 16 is infectious to all organic life. Along with maintaining self-awareness and the ability to perform independent action, 16 delights in spreading misery. Given the chance, any chance at all, he will intentionally infect human victims. Experiment 16 can effectively render himself invisible by blinding anyone who looks at him. The time the person is blinded depends upon several factors. If a person met Experiment 16's gaze while he was in a human form, the resulting blindness will last for a minimum of an hour. The longer the gaze was maintained, however, the longer the resulting blindness will last. From the moment they lock eyes with Experiment 16's human form, the victim's sight is affected, but the blindness does not occur until they break eye contact. Then their vision will begin to blur, deteriorating until only vague shapes can be made out. Ultimately, it all goes black. Nothing can be done to speed up the recovery from the blindness. It's some sort of ocular parasite that Experiment 16 can somehow emit from his eyes. It will use the rods of a victim's eyes to transmit itself from eye to eye. It's a different matter when Experiment 16 is fully transformed. Because it has more eyes to emit its ocular parasite, the blindness is much more sudden and lasts a lot longer. Too many encounters or an extended period of eye contact with Experiment 16 will result in the blindness being permanent. Because eventually, 16's ocular parasite will completely devour the eyes. It will leave a pitch-black void of raw nerves. The victim will experience pain with every blink, every twitch of the remaining ocular tissue, as the nerves will also not heal. Experiment 16 operates in public, usually as a thief for hire or an assassin. His ability to casually blind people and to change his shape puts him in very high demand. And he has made it his duty to be very public with everything he does. This makes it difficult for the agency to simply disappear him into a cell. Experiment 16 is constantly active on social media, using his many accounts to interact with legions of followers. The only explanation for this is that the Doctor must have thoroughly coached him on agency standard operating procedures and how we conduct ourselves under public scrutiny. Like a scared rabbit, Experiment 16 will flee the moment he has an inkling that he is being pursued. His face changes to that of one of his bright, youthful personas, and he starts broadcasting to his followers that random strangers are following him and to please call the police. After that, our agents have no choice but to disengage. Our only course of action is to catch him in the act of transforming or while committing a crime. Then the creature can be apprehended with minimal fuss. Aside from the more obvious reasons, Experiment 16 is a priority target because he may have clues regarding other, deadlier threats, including the Doctor himself who, armed with his knowledge of the agency and with no remaining ethics regarding his experimentation, has been marked as a kill-on-sight target. Even though heavy ordnance will be required to take him down, all agents are under orders to terminate. Fortunately, it was discovered by chance that Experiment 16 has a weakness that will aid in his capture. Flashbangs are to be used liberally. Not only does the stunning brightness cause him to keep his eyes closed, preventing him from targeting the retrieval team or civilians, but the strobing effect of multiple flashbangs have the effect of causing him to flinch, causing changes in appearance. It appears to be an involuntary reaction, and one we can exploit to help locate Experiment 16 when he is trying to evade our agents. While 16 has not yet been captured, it is only a matter of time and patience.